I'm sure it's small. It's shrinking every single day. Don't let them continue it. Don't let them outlaw more stuff.
Good point.
Thank you. You know, you probably hear people constantly talking about this horrible thing called capitalism.
I have.
Yeah, you've heard that?
Yes.
You're like, what? How does capitalism affect me? I will tell you, it runs your entire fucking life. You've probably heard of socialism or communism. Communism. And they say, they try to control your entire life. Your whole day is taken away from you. What control do you have over your day now?
Most people have to be chained to a desk for 40 hours a week and they're not allowed to leave.
When you wake up in the morning and you feel like shit and you have to wipe the sleep from your eyes and like look around and be like, why does this have to happen this early in the morning? That's a capitalism.
And it controls everything, like your healthcare, your education. It all comes down to making money, but some things just don't make money. Honestly, ask yourself, how afraid are you of getting an injury and how that could possibly fuck up your life?
Yeah, you're being stopped from skateboarding, breakdancing, doing anything fun, because if you get injured, you're fucked forever. You can't go to work.
And so then you have all these people that say, well, we can make a kinder capitalism, a more conscious capitalism. It isn't gonna fucking happen. We need anarchy, we need socialism, we need communism, we need anything but more capitalism.
But wait, Brett, when you go to the grocery store, you have almost unlimited choice. You can buy 100 different types of cereals.
All made from the same stuff with different graphics on the outside.
All corn. It's basically just a bunch of boxes of corn.
That's capitalism.
It actually treats about 1% of the population like humans, and the rest of us like tools for those superhumans. You don't have any money, your bank account's low? I know where the money is. Jeff Bezos has it, the Waltons have it.
And they took it from us, right?
They took it from us.
We're just getting our money back.
Yeah, your work made that money. You deserve that money. That's your money. The 1% has never decided to do the right thing. That's why we have to take power and just spread it out among the 100% of people that exist.
Before we commence expelling this ghost from this location, before we save Jake from the lock, I will light the ceremonial herb that will give us the sight, that will give us the power we need to set Jake free. My Twitter's not working out here. Let's see if you can get a ghost. Go ahead and try. I summon the ghost into ghostly ghostness. Come the fuck out if you're a real ghost. Now. Demand it.
This is how we fucking hunt ghosts. And as we've pointed out, and as we've said, there are no ghosts.
So this is where the ghosts live, from what we know. And he's not home. Let me see, let me try this. Jake, you may overtake my body. I accept you into my heart and soul. Please, if you are here, take control of me. Use me as a vessel.
Gross.
Nothing.
Yeah, no ghosts. So I guess the lesson of Beaver Creek is there's no such thing as ghosts, there's no God, and the Bible is a lie. Off to Helltown to find out what the government's up to in the middle of fucking nowhere, Ohio. Hell yeah, bumping out here. Can I get some of this safety herb in my lungs, please? And thank you, are welcome here. Jake, you can't have any because they drug test.
Yeah, if you go to work, man, you're gonna get drug tested.
Jake, you son of a bitch! You get out here! Hey, Jake! Ain't coming. He ain't coming because he's afraid of me, Brian Quinby from Street Fight Radio. Brett, would you like a shot at Jake?
Yeah.
I just fell in a hole. That was Jake. That was all Jake. I think
Did
we
Jake
found
do
the
that?
ghost.
Jake won't let you see your mentions. He's like, don't look at your phone while you're at work, motherfucker.
I mean, I tell you what, even the jobs that paid me nothing, like when I was first learning them, it was like, all right, I can do this. You just need somebody to get the plates and make them go from here to here. I can be the master of that. I was really into that, and I can do that. But after a while, it's like, you guys treat me like shit, and I get the plates from here to here every fucking time, and you talk down to me and shit. What's going on?
Jesus,
you're counting my lunches. Like, you're looking at what I'm eating. You're like figuring out when I'm going out to smoke. Like, all of a sudden, you're in my shit. But all you said you wanted from me was the plates to go from here to here, and I'm getting the plates from here to here.
God, that was the most accurate representation of how I feel when I get a job. At first, I'm helpless. I'm a little baby. I'm sucking off the tea to the manager to tell me what I need to do. You know, I don't want to, my wings aren't fully formed yet. And then once I learn what I'm doing, I'm like, y'all could treat me a lot better for this. I deserve a lot more for this.
Wow, this is some bullshit right here. Now that you kicked me out of the nest and I'm flying through the sky and trying to flap my wings here, I don't think you're giving me enough.
I don't like this
You
at
didn't
all.
set me up right.
How many times have you gone into work and then looked at your boss and said, what are they doing? You ever think about the levels at a job, Brett? Of course, the people on the very bottom. What do they do?
Usually clean.
Yeah, and then there is the people just above them. They're the ones that do the second hardest job at the place, right?
Deal with customers?
Yeah, that sort of thing. And then there's another level above that, and that's the manager that's in the place. Now let's think about what comes after that, right? You might have a guy named like Glenn that comes to your office every 6 months, and you have to lay out the red carpet for Glenn. Think about what the person above Glenn does. Jerry is the person above Glenn, right?
Okay.
His job is basically going to lunch, right?
Yeah, powerful meetings,
Yeah.
shaking hands real hard.
We're gonna go up to the CEO now. The people that sit around a table and who knows what they're doing? Nobody knows what they talk about.
Playing cards.
What connection does that person have to what you do and what the customer gets? It just seems like you could really chop like 5 or 6 levels off of any job and the company would still run perfectly.
Think about your job. Now imagine your manager isn't there. How much smoother would your day run?
I mean, how many of you work a job where you don't even know who the fucking CEO is of the company? That means they're absolutely useless. They're parasites.
They're on the top, getting most of the money, sending their kids to private school, driving the fanciest cars, and they can't make a sandwich. Every new level of hierarchy is more money coming out of your paycheck. Unions are fucking great because it's not HR.
You need solidarity with the other workers. We need to use that and exercise that. You and your other workers are the most important people at that company. I mean, hell, the way I think about it, maybe you don't get a union at all and you just take the whole company away from the bosses, and that's called a co-op.
For the almighty dollar.
Hello, Street Fighters! Welcome to the new show. The new setup, at least. For those of you that are listening on the podcast, you won't see it, but Brian and I are sitting next to each other now. I can turn towards him and make annoying glances, like on the news, you know?
Yeah.
I
can still stare at my keyboard, no matter what, at my computer.
We are live right now on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Jump in the chat. We want to hear what you got to say. This is Street Fight Radio, the #1 anarcho-comedy radio show on any station across the nation. And we've been doing it for 9 years now, a very long time. We wanted to create a radio show that would unite the working people of the world to throw off the chains of the police and the banks and the government. And we're about a third of the way there. So let's keep it rolling and rocking. My name is Brett Payne. My co-host right here is Brian Quinby. And we're happy you're here. We want to hear what you got to say. You can always reach out to the show, message us on all of those platforms that we love so much, or send an email. Also, right now, we need submissions for the zines. So if you're interested in writing for us or making art for us, we need parenting content right now. And a lot of people had asked, and I thought I made it clear, but you do not have to be a parent to write about it. You can write about your parents. You can write about a nanny is going to write in. I want to hear that perspective. So anything you got, we want to hear it. Head over to streetfightradio.com, and at the top, there's going to be a link that says zine submission. And when you click on that, you're just going to give you all the details. It's also in the chat right now if you just want to click on it and bookmark it for later. So this is the show, Street Fight Radio.
What is up, dude? How's it going?
Going great.
Less energy this week. I have less of the revolutionary energy this week. I'm sure I'll get it back. Very tired. It knocked my shit out. I think the last couple weeks really got me. I had insomnia for 5 days.
Okay.
Which is
not good.
I hate it.
It's tough. I did it. I had it a couple times too during the lockdown. My wife would just wake up at 6 a.m. and be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I am just rocking, just here listening to music for 6 hours."
So here's what I have. I wanted to talk about this Sunday, but it didn't feel right yet. But now I feel like we can talk about whatever again. I have this thing where I twitch in my sleep. Like, okay. I get this twitchy thing where my arm and leg will twitch. Restless leg. There's a name for it, but it'll just show up every once in a while out of nowhere, right?
So you're trying to go to bed and you just start quivering?
Well, actually, what happens is I'll fall asleep, but then at some point in the night I'll wake up and I'll just twitch. Just a twitchy guy, you know?
Uh-huh.
And so I go online to look up possible things to stop that from happening, and I took magnesium the other night and that didn't work.
Yeah, we heard on the show.
I switched my so I still have trazodone, but my psych doctor prescribed me gabapentin, so I switched back over to the trazodone, and I got high as shit last night, and I also tried not to stress, because what they tell you is if you stress about it, it'll cause you to twitch more.
Oh, God.
And it's like, well, Jesus Christ, if I could not stress, that's the fucking issue. It's like I don't actually know how to not be stressed out ever. So I had to kind of relax this week, and I had to try to be a normal guy that just walked 45,000 steps a day and get my mind back together, and now I feel like I'm back in the pocket. I'm back in the pocket. I slept one night.
And you're back.
I'm back, baby. It only took one night.
Okay.
But I am still getting up early at 9:30, 10 o'clock. It feels very weird, because it just feels like there's a whole day. I don't,
You don't like to have that much time ahead of you? Daylight?
I don't like all that day time. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like being up early. I don't like it. It just feels like so much to fill.
Yeah. There's a lot of extra time to get stuff done.
You sleep from noon or 1. It's like you get up and the next thing you know, it's dinner time. It's great.
Right.
That's the fucking lifestyle I've grown accustomed to over the years. But now we're looking at I'm a guy that gets up at 9:30, 10 o'clock, and it's like, okay, I'll just walk extra.
Do you just wait till noon?
No, I get out of bed and I get dressed and I walk out the door and I just leave until 6 o'clock. Still, I just leave till 6. I get home at 6 and I'm like, oh, my back hurts more this time. Back's been hurting. Thinking about trying the salve.
Yes.
The weed salve.
Topicals?
Yeah, I haven't tried it yet.
I have all of the back solutions you could ever need. I can hang you upside down. I can shock your muscles. We have the salves, the rollers, all of that stuff. I don't have the. I want the drill. That drill that has like a ball on the end of it and just like punches your muscle. That's the one I want.
I had a slight scary thing happen to me today, though, too. I went to the weed store today to purchase some weed. And the guy was like, let me see how many days you have left. Because in Columbus, or in Ohio, it works on some days system that is very weird and doesn't make sense.
I think that, I don't know what the allotment is, like a gram a day or something like that.
I don't know. I have 21 days left.
Or maybe 2.8 grams, because that's where that Ohio 10th came from, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I have 21 days left. But I get 45 more on June 18th. So I think the days are working out for me.
Okay.
I think I'm doing okay on the days. I love buying weed, though. It's stupid that they make you worry about how much weed you're buying. It's like, nah, I just sometimes I'm like, I'm allowed to buy weed. I'm going to go fucking buy some weed.
Well, that's what they wanted. They wanted to interject some sort of shame into the process. That's why the government is there. That you'd be like, I'll take like 500 Fruity Loops if you got them.
Yeah. So it's not that a 10th is like edibles, which is mostly what I buy. It's not that bad, really, because I bought like 22 edibles, like 10 packs of gummies, 2 Buckeyes, and
OH,
and a tincture thing, and it was only 4 days.
Okay,
So
that's a lot to do in 4 days.
Yeah, I don't know who would use that much weed in 4 days.
I'd have to be at a cabin to do it like that.
It's like 500 milligrams of weed for 4 days.
That's an amount where like you're someone you are related to can't just pop up out of nowhere. Like when you do 500 is when like someone calls you and is like, Brett, your grandma just died, and you're like, oh no. You need to be like no cell phone service. You need to be able to get away and enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm looking also at and I guess I'll just throw this out for personal business because I need it. Me and I want to go to a secluded cabin. I don't know how to find one. I'm having the toughest time here.
So cabin help is what we need.
I need cabin help. Now, I need a place with air conditioning. And I'd like a hot tub. Also, pool table or air hockey table, which I'm thinking about buying an air hockey table currently. Mm-hmm. Just as like a thing that I'm thinking about. I don't have anywhere to put it. But I was thinking about asking my wife if we don't have to eat at the table.
Just get air hockey instead?
Just put air hockey in there.
I love it.
Yeah, I want air hockey table, man.
I'm getting a ping pong table soon. Whenever I can find a good deal on Facebook.
You should get air hockey, dude.
Air hockey.
Get air hockey.
It's a big
Then
investment.
I can come here and play air hockey.
Yeah, all right, I'll do it.
Yeah, get a big air hockey table. Have you street fight money, you know?
Have you played the 4-person one?
Yeah, I don't. I'm a traditional air hockey
fine
guy.
How about this is the best upgrade for traditional. They have the one that has the steel bars on the side. Do you have that?
No.
It rings and it's metal, so it's like ting 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 ting. It sounds like ice and shit. It's awesome.
Yeah, so we could get a high-end air hockey table.
High-end.
Please get a high-end air hockey table.
Shuffleboard or whatever that table shuffleboard.
Fuck. Those are all the things I want in my house.
All right, I have a yard. I mow the lawn, so we can put it in the yard. We'll get an outdoor ping pong table and an outdoor.
I always wanted to play. I want to play air hockey all the time now.
I'm gonna get a bocce ball court in the front yard. Just rip up all the grass and convert it to bocce.
Yeah. Well, I've been looking at like different new hobbies since I decided I wasn't going to become a dart player.
Sure.
I just was like, nah, I can't afford the $200 darts. What's the point buying darts if you can't buy the $200 darts?
Well, I don't think any hobby is free from expensive stuff.
Right.
That's the problem with most of them.
So that's what I'm working on. I'm trying to come up with a game I want to get good at. I don't like foosball. I think it's stupid.
Go to like Play It Against Sports, like the U Sports place, and just see what calls you.
Yeah, I'm gonna start playing pickleball.
You should do rollerblading. You should do like grind some fucking rails on rollerblades.
I know how to rollerblade.
I bet you do.
I was a big rollerblading guy.
You were there for the first time around.
Yeah. I got rollerblades pretty early on. My dad was a hockey player, so You know, he was always like, you gotta get these rollerblades because there's no ice around here.
Sure.
So that's what's going on with me right now. I don't have insomnia as far as I can tell anymore, and I'm feeling pretty good. The police feel bad.
They do.
That's what's going on.
Shout out to Scrub League in the chat for donating $13.12 with the with FTP attached to it.
Yeah, fuck the police. Well, hey, here we go. Then I decided to get some blogs, some police blogs.
They still blog.
Oh yeah, there's a police blogosphere.
Oh, I guess there has to be. I follow Mike the Cop on Instagram, and I follow Oh No It's the Popo on Instagram.
How's Mike the Cop doing?
I actually
in these tough times.
He's not around. I haven't seen any posts recently, but I'm going to check right now. I doubt I can glean. I will see what's going on, but I'm pretty sure that I have not seen anything because he's usually at the top of my feed. Also, Shredded Military on TikTok. I constantly get updates that someone that is shredded in the military just made a TikTok.
Well, there are
a lot of pathetic ones too.
Oh yeah,
it's meatheads meatheads in the military.
Yeah. So extra dumb, probably. So this first one we have here is lawofficer.com.
All right.
Okay, what's Mike the Cop up to? No, I'm more curious about what Mike the Cop's up to than lawofficer.com.
Well, he has a PR campaign.
Yeah, he's Mike the Cop, dude. He is a PR campaign.
He said, "Dear Lemmings, a cliff is coming." That was the quote. And then on this picture he writes, "I believe it wise to distinguish and discern between social opportunism and true social justice. They can often look similar but are rooted in two very different sets of values."
Mike the Cop, what the hell?
He's saying you're an opportunist. All these people that jumped in to hate the police at the end, you didn't hate the police when we were beating up the other guys.
What does he usually do? Is he like a rapper cop or
he's a dancer? He's a sensible cop. He'll do a lot of like, no, chokehold has been outlawed in New York State since 1987. Like he's propaganda, but he's not like a proud Blue Lives Matter. He does that stuff, but he's always trying to say like, no, I'm listening. Like he's always presenting it. Ono de Popo is the same way. He goes around to he corners black people and then has them dance or answer questions, or he's like, you can ask me anything. I'm here to listen. I'm here for the community. And it's like, no, you're here for an Instagram moment.
Yeah, you're doing Instagram. You're not here doing Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh no, the Popo. So did Oh no, the Popo go off? I guess it really feels like they are in a state of emergency, a crisis, if you will.
This is a great one.
Okay.
There's so much. This is very quick. So Mike the Cop posted a picture of a big long line of police cars with all of their sirens going, and it says, "This is how we riot. When a fellow officer is murdered unjustly, this is how we riot. Not with bricks and bottles, but with a seemingly endless sea of blue lights. Not with hatred in our hearts, but hands and hats covering them. Not with empty chants, but waving flags. Not with cowardly masks." Dog,
we have to wear the fucking masks.
It's COVID, dude.
What the hell?
Have it too. Y'all are getting it too, and it's giving it to all of us.
Mike the Cop.
Not with cowardly masks, but courageous men and women holding the line between evil and good. Not with defacing property, but by defending and keeping the peace.
Mike the Cop. Mike the Cop seems a lot more angry to me than you had sold him to.
I did have it wrong. You're
Mike
right.
the Cop still wants to do chokeholds.
He does.
He just is like, chokeholds are banned, but then in his brain he's going like, damn it, man, I love those chokeholds.
Like, chokeholds are banned, but necessary.
Yeah.
You don't understand. You're not Mike the Cop.
Yeah, Mike the Cop seems like an asshole. You just scratch him a little bit and out comes like the asshole. And by the way, the police riot the same way we riot, but they have all the weapons.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what was happening last week. That was a goddamn fucking police riot. They were shooting rubber bullets and fucking tear gas. That's a riot.
What happened is that in cities across America, we all wanted to get together to do a protest, and we would have just fizzled out. No one was going to stay till 6 in the morning.
No.
The people would have been there till midnight. People would have been there till 1 in the morning. And then everybody would have gone home. There would have been music. There would have been beer and weed. And then everybody would have gone home. They made the decision to just come out at 2 in the afternoon and start cracking heads.
Yeah. Absolutely.
They rioted on our asses.
Yeah, they rioted. That's how they riot. The way the police riot is the same as we riot. Except for we don't have all the weapons and the power of the state behind us. So this is a blog post that Street Fight posted, actually. I got it from here. It's lawofficer.com. It's for training, tactics, and technology. And the blog name is America, We Are Leaving.
Love it.
Picture of a cop walking with a young black man. Kid, probably.
Yeah, that's a kid.
From behind. So, a lot of those pictures showing up in these blogs I've noticed. So here we go. This is the hardest thing I have written. I grew up in a law enforcement family. My father worked his way up to the rank of captain at the Fort Smith, Arkansas Police Department. As a kid, I remember going with him on Friday to pick up his check, and I was in awe of these superheroes he worked around. They were funny and fun to be around. Yeah, if your dad's a cop, I never found cops to be funny or fun to be around, ever.
I was hella nervous.
Yeah, no, but I've never had fun around cops.
You know what bugs me is that I was raised Orthodox fucking redneck, and everybody that I was around hated the goddamn police, had gotten in trouble with the police, and had shitty stories about the police. And all of a sudden, they convict these fucking every hick now that it's Blue Lives Matter shit.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. I was taught by white working class people to hate the fucking police.
Absolutely. I was taught, skateboarding taught me that. Like I said, there was plenty of anti-cop sentiment and readily available.
I mean, I was taught it by rednecks. Like, just dudes that were straight up, like, you know, the guy I knew used to fucking hunt turtles and then take their shells off and make clocks out of them.
Well,
and then try to sell them, but, you know.
We were going to have a big family get-together, and someone caught wind that one of the family members was dating a cop, and they were going to bring him, and everybody said they wouldn't go.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
happened in my family. That also, and that probably has a blue light outside their house now.
Yeah, 9/11.
9/11 did it, yeah.
9/11 fucked us up, you know what I mean? And racism trumps hate for cops.
True.
Every time, you know what I mean? So, like, a lot of times these rednecks will hate the cops, but if it's the cops, if it's black people versus the cops,
right,
then it's like, I don't know, I can't take the side of the other people I hate.
That's very true.
They were funny and fun to be around. Men and women of all races with the same mission to make the community safer. Well, that's your dream, isn't it? My dad sacrificed a lot, and so did my late mother. Whether it was the week-long Google 40% for the police, by the way. Yeah. Whether it was the long week of surveillance or wiretap or chasing drug runners around the country. Totally unnecessary work.
Yeah.
No work. He gave it all for my family and worked plenty of extra details to never let our family be without. Some would call that privilege, but where I grew up, it was called hard work.
Yeah. Opportunity comes in work boots, dude.
But some would call that privilege. My dad worked 70 hours a week and made a whole fuck ton of money. Some people might call that privilege. That's not like what we're talking about when we talk about privilege.
He gets to fucking retire at 45 and get a pension for the rest of his life.
You know what kind of privilege a cop's kid has is the privilege of you're allowed to be a fuck up.
Yeah.
You can totally just be a fuck up forever because the police aren't going to do anything to you because they all know you're fucking dad.
I had a friend in high school that would always steal because he would get away with it.
Yeah.
Like if we wanted shit, he was like, we could just go shopping. We'd walk through Walmart one time, say I want this, and that, and then we would go, and then he would come out with it all, and then we'd fucking be gone.
Yeah, because what's gonna fucking happen?
He got caught one time. He had to go to court, and someone said, familiar name. I know your dad. I don't think your dad, he gave him one of those, like, I think your dad would be real disappointed in this.
Yeah,
And then it was like, you're free to go.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah.
Slap on the wrist. My dad sacrificed a lot. Oh, no. The kids at school thought it was cool what my dad did. Not true. No, that is...
Preschoolers like the cops.
That's true.
Preschool kids
Okay.
think the cops are cool.
I always...
Kweli, I've addressed that in one of his songs early on.
I always think that when people say when I was a kid, they're talking about when they were in high school. For some reason.
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
You know?
when I say kid, I'm talking about like when I was thinking and shit, not like I'm pooping my pants. Or...
Yeah, I know. When I say when I was a kid, I mean probably 18 or 19.
Yeah.
That's like the time I was a kid that I'm thinking when I say I was a kid is somewhere between 13 and 27.
Yeah, pretty much.
The kids at school thought it was cool what my dad did, and while he sometimes asked me if anyone gave me a hard time, they never did. There was a respect among all, even the kids in shop class. That's not true.
What is that dig?
Okay, so
What
back
do
in
they
the
say?
day, what they believed was that if you went to shop class, you were a fuck up. Shop class was the fuck up class.
What was the school that you went to where you learned to trade instead of going to school?
That's vocational school.
Okay, yes.
Okay?
Right.
But back in the day, this is 70s type shit.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
this is pre my time, because in my time, everybody had to take shop.
Yeah, and I think that the fuck up that I knew in shop class was playing with that with the clamp, the table clamp, like where you spin the little handle and it opens and closes. It was really smooth action, and he would put his fingers in there and like hit the spinner, and then it would close, and before it closed he'd pull his hand out, and one time he pitched his fucking finger black. It was just a bloody fucking mess.
That's cool.
It was, but
One of my great regrets actually was when I was in 8th grade. This is gonna come off really weird. I graduated in 1997, so like in 8th grade in the school I went to, all the boys took shop class,
Yeah.
and all the girls took home ec. But you could also have your parents fill out a form, and a boy could take home ec or a girl could take shop.
you had to get permission?
Yeah, so I had my dad fill out the form, and I took home ec instead of shop because you got to make French bread pizzas.
Yeah.
And home ec, I was like, I don't give a fuck about wood. Like, give me some pizza. Teach me how to sew. That's the important shit.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm never gonna build a boat. You know what I mean?
So I was in 7th grade, probably in 1997 as well, and they had shop at the middle or the junior high school I went to, and I did double duty. I took shop and home ec.
Well,
'Cause
okay.
I wanted to play with tools and build shit, and also hang out with girls.
That was, I mean, the main reason I did home ec instead of shop was really because I knew I was going to be in a class with all girls. But like,
It's a little bit more relaxed than being around a bunch of hooligans that have
with tools.
With tools,
yeah, guys, a bunch of fucking dudes with saws. It's like, But in 7th grade, you took half the year in shop and half in home ec. So they did make sure everybody did both. But then in 8th grade, it was one or the other. And I took home ec.
As soon as they taught me that hand sewing and home ec, like I was making all the punk clothes that I wanted. Like I was stealing patches and sewing them on everything. My whole book bag was covered.
I didn't learn. I was really in there to talk to girls. Like that was like my whole time. I think I got probably a D in the class or something because the cooking part I was like really into because you got to eat.
Yeah. No, I loved it too. We made fortune cookies.
Yeah. There's something about being in school when you're a kid where like just the opportunity to eat is like the biggest prize. Kids love eating.
Yeah, smoothie club. Yeah. What Gwen was in.
Pizza party just fucking is like an actual like is like a music festival to you at that point.
Absolutely.
You know? But no, the kids in school did not think this kid's dad was cool.
Yeah,
either.
and I don't know, does shop still happen? People in the chat, I know there's somebody said that they were 2 in 1997. I want to know if you ever had shop.
It seems a little less necessary.
We didn't have it when I moved to the suburbs for high school. There was no shop class.
I mean, the tools pretty much do all the work now.
That's true. Well, you know, you still gotta know how to measure and mark shit. And
True. True. I mean, shop's not the worst thing in the world. It just wasn't for me, you know. I didn't grow up wanting to be a cop, but one fateful night as a freshman in college, that all changed. I went on a ride along, and my life's journey would never be the same.
Oh, no.
Did I ever tell you the story about my friend who went on a ride along? I had this friend, he was like, I'm going to go on a ride along with a cop just to, you know, sort of see what it's like to be a cop. Maybe I'll become a cop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he got there, and you got to fill out some paperwork before you go on a ride along. So he got there, and he filled out the paperwork, and they arrested him because he had a bench warrant.
Gotcha.
One of the fucking goddamn funniest things. He was in jail for 2 days because he wanted to do a ride along.
Man. They didn't even cut him some slack.
No, hell no. They were like, dude, you got some fucking unpaid shit or something. Yeah. And they were like, into the jail with you. Booking. That's the only funny time somebody's gone to jail.
Yeah, probably. It's the funniest time.
So I remember when, because he worked with me at the cable company, he had to call off. And I was like, what the fuck why is he calling off? And they were like, he's in jail. And I said, why? And they were like, he went to go on a ride along and they arrested him. I went on, after 4 years of college, my dad wanted me at an agency that respected that education. So I moved to Tulsa at 21 and never looked back. I didn't know anyone, and all I knew is what I saw my dad do. Work hard and treat people with respect. That's a lie. Cops don't treat anybody with respect.
They treat everybody like pawns. They treat everybody like a problem that they have to fix.
Lowers. They're lowers. I saw a lot of other cops working hard as well and doing all they could to keep the community safe. 27 years has passed, and if you would have told me the condition of law enforcement today, I would have never believed you. Uh-oh. Now we're going to get into the stuff. Okay.
Aren't things going great for them?
Well,
like
okay.
That job pays a lot of money and has a lot of benefits, and they're armed to the teeth now, and they can get away with this is the first time that there's been the majority of the nation has pushed back against them.
Well, he says here it's not that law enforcement has changed for the worse, but everything around it has. Okay? The mentally ill used to get treatment, and now they just send cops. That's a good fucking point. We've been wanting that to stop happening forever. This is a good line. Kids used to be taught respect, and now it's cool to be disrespectful.
Yeah, I've heard that before. People think Nickelodeon tells kids that their parents aren't cool.
I didn't think parents were cool when I was a kid.
You have to, at a certain point, you realize they're not.
They can't be. Yeah. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Supervisors used to back you when you were right, but now they accuse you of being wrong in order to appease crazy people. Is that why cops have, never any consequences at all?
Yeah, they can get away with anything they want.
Parents used to get mad at their kids for getting arrested, and now they get mad at us. I mean, this is a fair point. I would be pissed off if a cop arrested my kid.
That's true.
At the cop.
Yeah, that's true. Why did you arrest them?
Yeah, what's your fucking problem, dude? What my parents got pissed at me when I got a curfew violation.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But my daughter got a curfew violation. I'm like, leave her the fuck alone. You know? It's fine. Everything's fine. The media used to highlight the positive contribution our profession gave to society, and now they either ignore it or twist the truth for controversy to line their own pockets. This is so not true. Is the media really anti-cop?
No.
Not at all. Everything's a cop.
Everything they do.
I know. They take their fucking word for everything.
A lot of people did. There was a lot of fucking dumbasses that first day of the protest that were like, oh, the mayor and the police said that they had to do it. It was basically domestic terrorists. Antifa came in and launched an attack. They had to do all this.
Yeah. There used to be a common respect among criminals. If they got caught, they understood you had a job to do, but now it's our fault that they sit in handcuffs rather than their own personal decisions. What the fuck is this dude
I think
talking
they're
about?
both checking into their job.
Yeah.
I deal drugs to keep cops employed.
I clocked into crime today, and god damn it, another cop came. He's just doing his
Just
job.
doing his job.
It's respect. It's a respect. We have a mutual respect for each other, me and the cop. That is not true. We call them pigs.
Forever.
For, like, as long as I've ever... You've ever seen Wayne's World, cop? Like, they do it in Wayne's World.
I don't remember that.
He's like, I think I smell some sort of a pork product
Oh,
at the beginning
yeah.
with a cop. It's like fucking, there is not... The cops must think that there is mutual respect between them and criminals, but there's not. There's not. We hate them. Criminals hate them.
Yeah.
So much. If someone attacked a cop, they were seen as such. Now we martyr them and sue for millions. That's not true. I've seen cops beat the living fucking shit out of somebody that was handcuffed.
Yeah.
And say they were resisting. And then people be like, well, they were resisting. The police said they were resisting. So I don't really think that that's not what happens. I can't imagine like how this narrative they build in their mind. We used to be able to testify in court and we're believed. Now, unless there's video from 3 different angles, no one cares what you have to say. Well, that's like they usually turn their fucking camera off anyway.
Also, this is an opinion piece. There's nothing to back this up.
No,
I
hell
read
no.
plenty of Medium blogs of people that very succinctly explain how the cops don't get in trouble for what they're doing. There's plenty of graphics and plenty of data out there to show they aren't being charged for shit.
Right. Yeah, they never get in trouble for anything. With all this talk about racism and racist cops, get ready, strap in. Everybody, put on your seatbelt. I've never seen people treated differently because of their race. And while I know that cowards that have never done this job will call me racist for saying it, all I've ever seen was criminal behavior and cops trying to stop it, and they don't give a rip what their skin color was.
Well, that was his big part. That was his big piece on the accusation of racism. I'd like to say, never seen it in my life.
I don't think racism is...
What?
Racism, schmacism.
I report to my boss. I say, "How's racism going?" They say it's none.
Yeah.
My boss says we're not doing any racism.
My yearly review said I didn't do one single racist incident. I got a fucking 10 out of 10 on not being racist on my last review. I've seen cops and help save any type of race, gender, or ethnicity you can think of. And while that used to mean something, no one cares anymore. That's okay. Like, if we're to believe what the cops' jobs are, then that's like doing your job. You don't get to brag because you save people of every race. That's that's what you supposedly do.
Yeah, it should be screening for that, maybe. Make sure that somebody is willing to do that. I don't know why that's like that sounded like it was open for...
I mean, I would help save anybody of any race.
No, I think it's the right thing to do.
Gender. It's just something I would do as a person.
The fantasy of America is that the cops are running around being superheroes all day long when they're really looking to harass people. They're running plates to do bench warrants. They're going after old cars. They're trying to catch black men with fucking drugs. That's what they're profiling and shit.
Yeah,
that's what their day is.
I've been called every name you can think of, and many of them with racial overtones, and it's never come from cops. I've watched African American cops take the brunt of this and even talked to one rookie out of quitting after he was berated by lots of cowards that had the same skin color as him. I've heard words I never heard being a cop. Uncle Tom, cracker, pig, and the N-word, just to name a few. I've heard them thousands of times, and never once did I see a police officer retaliate. That is probably not true either. They just took it. Despite that, it's been the greatest opportunity of my life to do this job. I would have recommended it to anyone, and I secretly hoped one of my kids would do it one day. They would have been 4th generation cops. But today, all that is over. I wouldn't wish this job on my worst enemy. I would never send anyone I cared about into the hell that this profession has become. It's the only job you can do everything right and lose everything. It's the only job where the same citizens you risk your life for hate you for it. That's pretty funny. I like that line. It's the only segment left in oh no. It's the only segment left in society where it's cool to discriminate and judge just because of the uniform you wear.
Really?
Yeah, that's it. It's
the only
job.
one.
Yeah, no. People are so respectful of people that work at McDonald's. I mean,
absolutely.
Very respectful of the people that work at Walmart. And, it's always been a thing where they the thin blue line also applies to people that work at Walmart. It's a blue.
Yeah, we need
line,
them more than the cops.
You never get to explain. You can never reason with them. The nasty words have now turned into rocks and bottles and gunfire. No gunfire. He's lying about the gunfire.
They fire some guns.
Yeah. I've watched it happen to those around me, and I've seen the total destruction of their life. This job is a walking time bomb. That is true. He's got a point there. Every single cop is a walking time bomb.
I mean, think about, like, I was talking to somebody about the all cops thing, and just seriously count up how many years of people's lives, how many family members they've taken away.
I know.
Over bench warrants. How many jobs have been put in fucking jeopardy, you know?
Yeah. Here's this. Here's a good line for you. This job is just a walking time bomb, and you could get canceled or prosecuted on the very
No, not canceled. What do they do, hit you with a big rubber stamp?
Next thing you know, they're treating me like I'm Louis C.K. I get a call, I go on a call, and then the next thing, I'm Doja Cat. It's not fair.
It's unreasonable.
I'm sick of this goddamn cancel culture.
Can't do this tightrope act anymore.
I can't do this anymore. No profession has to deal with that. That's not true at all. You can definitely get canceled on doing pretty much any profession at this point.
Yeah.
Listen, podcasters are brave as hell because, we're always about to get canceled.
We're doing the tightrope act.
Doctors kill 250,000 people a year. They call that...
Kill them?
That's what he says.
Doctors kill people?
That's what he say.
Jesus. We gotta stop the maybe we should riot against the doctors?
I don't know.
That's pretty dangerous.
Doctors kill 250,000 people a year. They call them medical mistakes because society understands that they do a very difficult job under high stress and they must make the best possible decisions in the moment. He said doctors kill 250,000 people, so we should be allowed to just shoot people. Sometimes it's going to be an accident. We kill people. That's part of it,
It's a slip up.
Yeah.
They get written up for that stuff, It's not to just go unpunished. We get written up.
Doctors kill 250,000 people. This is wild, man.
They're against everybody. Going after doctors.
They are. They're like, you know what? Fuck doctors then. Hey, if you don't like cops, fuck doctors. Okay? How about that? Firemen? Fuck you.
Firemen don't save everybody.
No. People die in fires. Firemen kill them. That's what it is.
Firemen kill thousands of people a year by not going fast enough to get to the fire.
On 9/11, the first responders killed 3,000 people. It was crazy. That's the way they're counting the law enforcement is tasked with the same, and we are highly successful. I mean, you're biased.
Yeah.
Despite the most violent society we have ever seen, statistically, totally untrue.
Not at all.
Completely 100% true. Less than 1,000 suspects are killed a year. 96% are attacking us with weapons.
Wait, what? All the ones that die?
No,
that they have to shoot? Is that what it is?
That's what they're saying.
Got it. 96%, that sounds accurate.
And all but a few others are attacking us with their cars or their fists, and more with simulated guns. Simulated guns! So Benjamin Crump can help win their family win the lottery. So he thinks that people are getting toy guns and pointing them at the police so that they get killed, so that then their family can sue the police department.
Awful. That's disgusting.
That's what a cop's saying.
This dude should be dragged out.
Well, yes, he should definitely not have his job.
Yeah, we don't need this. We don't need any of this. I don't like the attitude that's coming off of this. Is why everybody hates y'all.
Yeah, this is him explaining himself.
This is why we hate
fucking
y'all.
your side. This is me giving the cop side of the story, and this is what he's saying.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen cops risk their own lives when they shouldn't have, just to keep from taking one. They never get the credit that other professions get. Oh my God, they get medals. They fucking get medals all the time. They got 100 medals, these cops.
Yeah.
You know?
And is there any other profession that gets discounts anywhere?
No, doctors don't get a fucking discount, but that's because they kill so many people.
If they bring that number down, maybe they can get a free grand slam.
Maybe if we could get doctors to only kill 1,000 people a year, they can get their fucking discount. They do get discounts everywhere. They get all kinds of shit. You know?
Like I said, amazing benefits. I've been reading about like the benefits package they have. It's unreal. So some of them have unlimited vacation time or sick time. I'm sorry, unlimited sick time.
Yeah.
So if something happens, you can just take as long as you need.
Yeah, just take as long as you need. Come back when you're ready.
Yeah.
You know? Cowards are all around us, from chiefs to sheriffs to politicians. No one has our back. Now, the little we have, we're told they're going to defund us or even abolish us. Citizens with a political agenda will reign over us, and all you have to do is wake up and put a uniform on to be a racist.
Yeah. Now you get it. Yeah. That's the thing. Is like it's the uniform. The whole system is racist. Now you get it. That's because it doesn't matter what you think inside of your head. As soon as you button up the shirt, you are doing racism now.
This weekend, I received death threats for just doing my job. It would have been outrageous a decade ago and made national news. Now it's just a Monday. That's not even true either, by the way. You know, and the death threats that he's talking about that he got were probably people driving by and playing like "fuck the police" or something like that. And he's like, that's a death threat, actually. In that song, Ice Cube says he'd kill a police. You know?
Also, I bet, I'm guessing that they probably have some sort of secret code amongst them that you just anonymously send death threats to each other to keep the morale up.
Yeah. People want to kill us. We're doing something right here, you know? There will be more threats, more accusations of racism, and more lies told about us. I used to talk cops out of leaving the job. Now I'm encouraging them. It's over, America. You finally did it. You aren't going to have to abolish the police. We won't be around for it. Thank you. Please. I appreciate that for you. And while I know most Americans still appreciate us, it's not enough that the risk is too high. Those of you that say thank you or buy the occasional meal, it means everything.
Okay.
But those of you that were silent while the slow turning of the knives in our backs happened by thugs and cowards, this is on you.
No, he just admitted that he goes into places and someone's like, I'm going to pay for their food.
I know.
Like, who else gets that kind of service?
Not me. Nobody pays for my food.
No one has that level of service.
No, absolutely not. Your belief in hashtags and memes over the truth has and will create an environment in your community that you will never expect. You know what hashtag he's talking about, right?
Which one?
What'd he
say?
Said hashtags. He said your belief in hashtags and memes over the truth has and will create an environment in your community that you will never expect.
BLM?
Yeah, that's the hashtag he's talking about.
That's also, I think, what Mike the Cop is going after too. Is oh, you fake outrage posting black blocks on your Instagram. What's your motivation?
If you think Minneapolis will turn into Mogadishu, and that is far from you,
what does that
it's
mean?
coming. Well, Mogadishu is a country and is in Somalia, and it was
an
extremely racist thing for him to say.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for not knowing where Mogadishu was, but damn. That's shitty.
And when it's where Black Hawk Down, the movie Black Hawk Down was in Mogadishu.
Got it.
And when it does, remember what your complicity did. This is the America that you made. That's our first cop blog. America, we are leaving. So this is the attitude we're dealing with.
It's just when a bunch of when everyone's telling you suck and you're an asshole, you have to believe it.
I know. That's exactly. I agree.
I'm like, if I hit the point where I get 30 emails and they're like, dude, you're an asshole. I'm like, all right, I really did fuck up. If I get one, even really, but still, there's just a level of where you can be like, all right, whatever. Not everyone's gonna like me. It's like, oh wait, everybody hates me. Well, that's their fault, not me.
Yeah, I didn't fucking do anything except for, kill people, accuse doctors of being murderers, and fucking do a racist comment about what Minneapolis could turn into.
Yeah.
Here, this is from A Cop's Watch. That's A Cop's Watch at blogspot.com. They didn't get, they kept their blog spot, I had a blog spot for a period of time.
You did?
Of course I did. I'm a writer.
At a live journal.
Well, I did a blog spot because all it was for sharing pictures of my daughter. I had a pictures of my daughter blog for the family,
Oh, that's great.
Very normal guy thing. I did have a blog where I tried to write stuff, but it was all bad and sucked. And
yeah.
I'm sure wouldn't age well, one.
I'd be embarrassed.
And two, it wouldn't be funny.
Yeah.
So, be both things, So here's a Cop's Watch. Here's their comments on the last few days. Also followed with a clip from the classic movie Gandhi. So, I don't know what they're going to say here, but...
This is followed by...
He embedded a clip from Gandhi.
These guys are so out of touch. They don't even know that Gandhi's been canceled. They aren't even...
God, what? God, cops are getting canceled. Gandhi's getting canceled. What the fucking hell, man? Oh, next thing you're gonna tell me is fucking Jimmy Fallon got canceled. Got canceled over the weekend.
He did?
Well, he got canceled a couple weeks ago for doing blackface.
I remember that now.
Oh, what? Everybody's canceled now. Like countless millions, I've looked at the video from Minneapolis, followed by, this is a parenthetical, followed by entirely predictable riots, looting, etc. Ah, yes. Nothing says we have a just cause like taking widescreens from a Target store or burning down a police station. Well, I would say burning down the police station is undeniably cool.
It's a message. Yeah. It's a goal.
It's called a message.
It's a goal to have.
Cops send messages quite often.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? We're sending a message. We hate your police station.
Yeah, we don't like this thing.
Yeah, this thing fucking sucks. To make the clusterfuck complete, Al Sharpton is flying in to stir up more troubles? Well, at least we don't have an AG whose only purpose is to destroy law enforcement. Ooh, this guy is flipping out, you know?
They always feel under attack.
My God.
The most protected people in our fucking country.
This is going to get... I remember when there was a civil rights movement in this country, headed by, among others, Reverend Martin Luther King. Oh. They protested non-violently against Jim Crow. He's for Jim Crow.
You love Jim Crow laws? He's just heard it wrong and he never looked it up. He never looked it up.
He didn't care enough.
Yeah, what was that? Oh, Jim Crow. That sounds bad. That sounds bad.
Bad time in American history is the Jim Crow laws. Okay. Something about weed, maybe. Lack of voting, the Vietnam War, and other issues. King was inspired by Gandhi, canceled, and his methods of nonviolence. I don't recall any department stores being looted, police stations set on fire, other violent actions by the protesters in Selma and Birmingham. Well, the police did beat the living fucking shit out of them.
Yeah, I was going to say, I do remember, I don't think they had a chance to do that because their arms and legs were getting broken by the police.
Yeah, there were some violent actions by the police in Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah.
Which
And
that's
Selma.
the side you're on. Is the side that did the violent actions. So I excuse me if we've decided we don't want to just get beat up all the time. You know, like that's what he's saying. He's like, you're supposed to let us kick your ass, okay?
Go
That's
limp.
how politics happen.
Just go limp.
Yeah, you're supposed to let me hit you with a stick, and then later on, I'll see how bad I am, okay? Oh my God. Two great quotes from a classic movie, Gandhi. Gandhi is speaking with hundreds of men, trying to organize them for protest against the British. He's
100?
It says 100 of men. I'm reading this with all of the either typos or just that's how this person talks.
Yeah. There was 100 men there. There was like
100 men.
everywhere everywhere you looked, it was like 100.
That's a That's a good way to talk about like when we do a show that draws 100.
That's true.
There were 100 men there.
Folks, we travel across the country. We do shows for 100. 100 of people.
100
100
men.
of people.
Everywhere.
100.
It's crazy. Trying to organize them for a protest against the British. He is very firm. He has no cause for which he will kill. He rejects violence, but he knows it will come to them, and through our pain, we will make them see their injustice. This is a cop! He's saying, just let me beat you up! Hey, you're not playing fair! I'm supposed to be able to beat you up!
Yeah, I'm here to be your dad. This is what's best for you.
Listen to what he says next. A great conclusion. They may torture my body, break my bones, even kill me. Then they will have my dead body, but not my obedience.
He's saying this about what?
He's saying that's what protesters used to do, and that was the good times.
Oh.
So he's saying
When they would just give up.
he's saying, yeah, you're supposed to let me beat you to death, and then political change comes like later on after I do that. We're skipping that part, and we're just gonna go to the change. Is what we're shooting.
Makes
for.
sense.
As I watched the looting over this nation, I recall how Martin Luther King was inspired by Gandhi and his methods. He was murdered in '68, and the descendants of what was a civil rights movement are shameful at best. But with all that is going on, I think I'll watch Gandhi over the weekend. It gives me hope there's a chance of civilization surviving. What an odd fucking message to take away from the civil rights movement and Gandhi.
Yeah, there's a very weird misinterpretation. They are all brainwashed. I mean, just incredibly brainwashed to be a part of this group of warriors. I was reading somebody was talking about how they literally are taught that like they are the sheep's. I'm sorry, they are the wolves. Yeah, protecting the sheep or whatever.
Will on Chapo, it was a bonus episode, but they actually did. It's called Targets.
Okay.
And they released it on their free feed, and I would recommend listening to it. There is Will was talking about this guy that goes and gives speeches to police departments, and he was saying that like he played an audio clip of this dude, and
I think I've yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
and the guy is like, you know, once you take a man's life, you become a predator. And that's what you have to be. We have to be predators in order to fight the predators. And, you know, this guy gives speeches about how there's danger around every corner. He just really scares the shit out of these fucking guys that are already fucking cowards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's these scared people that think the whole world's out to get them because they don't get a discount on donuts anymore. And fucking this guy goes in and tells them that somebody's going to murder them very soon. Right. You know?
And there's nothing to back it up. You know, bartender is a more dangerous job than police.
Pizza delivery person is a more dangerous job than police. Roofer, more dangerous job than police. So let's, after hearing from these guys and seeing that they've seen the error of their ways in the past few, after this whole thing, after they know, hey, you know, we got out of hand, we did some wrong.
We're gonna lay off.
Hey, we're gonna cut it out. You know, we've learned a lesson. It was time for the Democrats to let us know what they're gonna do about what we've been protesting about.
Right.
Now, the rallying cry for these protests are abolish and defund. And abolish is the top level request, defund, second level compromise request. Okay?
Right.
So, what the Democrats have done is they have taken the word defund and they have made that the top request. They have skipped over abolish. They are not acknowledging that people want to abolish the police. They're just saying that people want to defund the police.
Right.
Now, in order to negotiate with the Democrats have decided what they're going to do. And, you know, the first person that put out something after the defund the police thing I saw was Bernie Sanders.
Okay.
Who really fucking let me down.
Yeah.
And talked about how police are underpaid and we have to pay more to recruit better people to be police.
Very shitty, stupid thing to say. Just ruins his credibility, really.
Well, to think that police are poorly paid is crazy to me. They start out at $28 an hour. Who else starts out at $28 an hour? In Ohio.
Yeah.
In Columbus, they start out at $28 an hour. What is another job in this city that starts out at $28 an hour where you don't have to go to college? I mean, I went to college. I don't even know where I would get a job starting out at $28 an hour. I never even fucking heard of a job that pays $28 an hour.
Yeah.
But then they make $28 an hour and then they work unlimited fucking overtime too.
Yeah.
You know, they fucking go stand in a Kroger all night and they make fucking time and a half to do that. These guys make a fucking ton of money. They do well. They're like at $90,000 a year. Is that like the number I've heard?
I've heard it
quite often is like $90,000 a year. And in bigger cities, they make more. $90,000 a year in Columbus, Ohio is a fucking great living.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, key to the city.
Yeah, 3 times what I make. You could eat you could eat at restaurants every night.
Yeah. You really could.
You could have the nicest house in the neighborhood on $90,000 a year. You're like upper echelon of earners. So I don't really know what this idea that like starting them out at $50 an hour, what does that change?
Yeah.
Who are these people that they're thinking are going to become the police? The thing is, like, there are so many people that are smart and don't want to be the police because they know that being the police is bad.
Yeah.
There isn't like, they're not going to change their mind because the police make more money.
Yeah, and there's all kinds of underpaid social workers and people that do want to do the job of police, helping people in crisis.
Right.
You don't get paid nothing. You get paid nothing.
Like $9 an hour starting out as a social worker.
Yeah.
You know, because I tried to do that, and the jobs I applied for made $9 to $11 an hour.
Right.
So we're starting. He's the guy that we look to and depend on to have some kind of thing to say. Now, I will say it's relatively consistent, I think, for him because it's a public sector job and it's tax money pays for it, and like he is for like expanding the public like sector. You know what I'm saying? So it like in a way it makes sense. It just is tone deaf to the moment that we're in and doesn't acknowledge that like they're a problem in every respect, you know. And
Bernie came from the time of respectable protesting.
Yeah, the good times. And then they arrested him. They beat him up and arrested him.
Yeah.
I think it was a shitty tone deaf statement, but he's not running for president anymore, so it doesn't really fucking matter what he thinks. So what I did was Joe Biden wrote an article for USA Today
Great.
talk about his response to this thing. He is running for president. So let's see how much of our demands are going to be met by Joe Biden.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Future presidential candidate. He's probably going to say, well, I think we should abolish the police. I mean, a lot of people, and it's a lot of my base, are calling to defund the police. I think what I'll do is I'll defund the police.
Yeah.
You know?
Smart.
Yeah, that's what I would do. If I was a politician and I was running for president and, like, every single person that would possibly maybe vote for me is saying defund the police, I would be like, yo, you know what would be the thing to do? Defund the police. And I mean, we don't believe shit they say during the elections anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I don't believe, even if Joe Biden came out and said, I'm going to defund the police, I wouldn't even fucking believe that.
Right.
You know, because they say whatever they have to say to get elected. A presidential election is a bunch of people saying, boy, if I could do that, I would do that. Like, oh, man. Oh, okay. If you make me president, I would love to do some cool shit. You know, I'm not going to, but I would love to do it.
Yeah.
From the moment I launched my campaign, I have said that we are in a battle for the soul of this nation. And after 2 weeks of daily protests with thousands of people coming out to march for racial justice in the midst of a pandemic, with gatherings in all 50 states and Washington, D.C., and in communities of every size, the American people have shown the world exactly where we stand in this battle.
Okay.
He's right.
That seems
It's true.
Pretty accurate.
Seems like he's reading the moment to me.
Yeah.
Really. Like, he's really reading. Like, we came out, we all gathered together, we had a list of demands, and we want these things to happen. We know the nation we want to be. Now we have to deliver on this moment to achieve fundamental changes that address racial inequalities and white supremacy in our country. President Donald Trump's hate-filled, conspiracy-laden rhetoric is inflaming the racial divides in our country. But just fixing the way the president talks won't cut it. Mm-hmm. We need to root out systemic racism across our laws and institutions. We need to make sure black Americans have a real shot to get ahead. Okay, so all this sounds fine. None of it's policy.
Right.
None of it.
No, this sounds like an email sent from Target or something.
Yeah. He's basically on the Gushers train.
Yeah.
He's
in brand mode.
Gushers and Fruit by the Foot are going to be working together to unveil a new thing, and Joe Biden is working along with Gushers and Fruit by the Foot. For too long, black Americans have lived with a knee on their neck. Not only, that's not the way I would bring that up, but I mean, I guess it's a powerful metaphor for what just happened. It just feels like,
yeah,
you know, not only institutional violence, but daily injustices like having the police called for sitting in a coffee shop or watching birds in the park. I support the proposal pending in New York to enhance penalties for making a false 911 call based on race, gender, or religion.
Okay.
No one should be subjected to that kind of discrimination ever.
Folks, we're going to do a barbecue Becky bill as soon as I get into office.
That would be really funny if it was called the barbecue Becky bill, and then it was like he signs a meme.
Yeah.
Instead of like signing it into
Right.
law, they hand him the meme of her on the phone. It's like, oh.
I mean, it could cut down on it. That, you know, we could use less people calling the cops on black men.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that's like the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
You know, that's not a bad start. You know, we don't want people calling the cops on black men. That is true.
Because the lady that did it recently, I can't remember her name, but she was awful.
Oh.
She was totally trying to get that
She
dude
knew.
killed or arrested or beat up or whatever it is. Yeah.
She knew what would happen.
She wanted to unleash fury on him.
We should also be directing our resources to actively undo the negative effects systemic racism has had on opportunities for black Americans. For example, African American entrepreneurs are rejected for loans at a rate nearly 20 percentage points higher than white entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And when they do receive funding, it's far less. less. We should prioritize support for mission-driven lenders in low-income communities by doubling the state small business credit initiative. I mean, this is all like...
Yeah, what about the police? We were talking about the police,
We're having a conversation about the cops right now, not like small business.
We're good, yeah.
But any
maybe
chance, though? Any chance to talk about small business? These people
Got to.
Wait, hold on a second. Remember, here's some more small business talk.
Yeah.
By the way, here we go. Here's our police talk, Brett. If state and local governments fail to make necessary changes, the Department of Justice must have subpoena power for pattern or practice investigations into systemic misconduct by police departments and force these departments to reform. While I do not believe federal dollars should go to police departments violating people's rights or turning to violence as the first resort, I do not support defunding police.
Okay.
The better answer is to give police departments the resources they need to implement meaningful reforms and to condition other federal loans on completing those reforms. Now, that sounds like give the police departments more money.
Yeah, it sounds like an influx of spending.
That sounds like we said defund the police. And it sounds like he's saying we should give the police more money.
We need to give them softer shields. We need to spend more money on softer shields.
That's what I've long been a firm believer in the power of community policing. Getting cops out of their cruisers and building relationships with the people in the communities they are there to serve and protect. I want to talk about something because I went to school and I learned about criminology and stuff like and I took a couple criminology courses and I learned a lot about community policing. And Joe Biden is talking about community policing, and he's claiming that this is something that he wants to do. But what community policing is that the police that are in the neighborhood, patrolling the neighborhood, live in the community that they're patrolling so that they know the dynamics of the neighborhood and they know the people that live in the neighborhood. And they can, police according to the culture of the neighborhood that they are in.
Right.
We know that most cops do not live in the neighborhoods that they patrol. So just saying, get out of your car and talk to people. Guess what, Joe Biden? I don't want to fucking talk to the police.
I don't want to.
Nobody wants to talk to the police.
I don't want anybody from the suburbs to pull up and get out of the car and try to talk to me.
No thanks, man. That's why I'm proposing an additional $300 million to reinvigorate community policing in our country. If all they got to do is get out of their fucking cars and talk to people, what do they need $300 million for?
They need a raise.
Like, what is the $300 million even for?
Got to pay them to open the doors.
Yeah, it costs money to open that police car door. Every single police department should have the money it needs to institute real reforms like adopting a national use of force standard, buying body cameras, and recruiting more diverse police officers. All things we've tried. All things. All these things are the same shit they say every fucking time.
This is how you get to the point of burning a police station down.
Yes.
Because all of that stuff has been done.
Yeah. And we need to prevent 911 calls in scenarios where police should not be our first responders. That means making serious investments in mental health services, drug treatment, don't need the treatment, and prevention programs, and services for people experiencing homelessness. That may also mean having social service providers respond to calls with police officers.
No, without.
Without them. And by the way, the drug stuff, you don't even have to fucking do that. Like, you don't even have to do any of that shit.
All of this stuff has failed, and the information is all out there. It's the same way that these abstinence-only drug programs have about an 8% success result, but people like them. People want people to feel bad and shameful and get punished for doing drugs. It's the same thing with the police. They're solving half the murders. They're solving, 20% of the rapes that are happening. They're losing rape kits. I read all this crazy stuff about Minneapolis this week and how horrible they are at their job. It's right there in front of you that they're not doing a good job. We should do something else. They aren't. The only thing they bring is violence and terror to poor and black communities.
Yeah. And the thing about the The thing he was saying about the body cams, like we've put body cams on these guys. It didn't work.
Yeah.
Hiring more people of color didn't, I mean, like, look, if they're gonna have the goddamn institution, I guess it's better than not, but it's an institution that runs on white supremacy, so it doesn't, none of these things make a use of force continuum doesn't mean shit if the guy just has to say my life is in danger. I felt my life was in danger. Then they're allowed to just do exactly what the fuck they want to do. You know, if we wanted to get serious about keeping the police around and fixing this problem and reducing the contact that the community has with the police, we have to talk about like ending the war on drugs is like a big main thing. That is one of the spots where the police get involved in people's lives and hurt people and kill people, you know? And police shouldn't be involved in fucking shoplifting cases. Police shouldn't be involved. There's so many things we don't need them involved in. And we should be trying to create an atmosphere where they are only there when, like, somebody might possibly need them in the case of, like, violence, which they're not even there for that, right? Like,
most of the time, not.
They fucking come in, they always say you want them to come and fucking draw the chalk outline around you after somebody kills you. There's not a use for them in the way that things exist at this point. We don't live in a violent country.
Yeah.
You know? It's not
a war zone.
There's not violence around every corner, and most of the violence is caused by these guys enforcing unjust laws. Like, they don't have to do, there's so much stuff that they just don't have to do. And they do it because, I mean, they want to, and they're fucking crazy, and they're put in a position where they're allowed to do it. And they've given these guys so much power over our lives, and they refuse to take any of it away. And this is not a solution.
No.
Like, I think that, like,
there's no way to reform it. It's over. It has to stop now. This is what we're getting together to say. No more policing.
Yeah.
They failed every fucking way. It's time they get fired. All of them get fired, and we figure out what the next thing is going to be.
I memean, the Democrats couldn't even figure out how to get us another stimulus check, but they figured out how to get $300 million for the police. You know?
Right.
There's always money. There's always fucking money to throw at the police, even when we're asking them to take money away from the police. It's fucking crazy. So before we get out of here, I want to talk about a hero from Allie's Donuts in Rhode Island. He was I'll just post it. The decision by a popular Rhode Island donut shop to end its policy of offering discounts to police and military members in uniform drew backlash and support from customers over the weekend, as its owner called for an earnest conversation around racism and social injustice. Allie's Donuts in North Kingston posted an Instagram story to announce the change after a Black Providence firefighter said he was racially profiled by a pair of city police officers on June 2nd. We're fed up, the store said in its post. Until local police take actions to solve problems with racism and injustice, Allie's Donuts will choose to stand with the people of our great state. We will no longer offer military or police discounts, the post continued. Thank you for your service and shame on you for your silence.
Wow.
So, Allie's Donuts, you're awesome. I know you're getting a lot of death threats from people, but I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta step up and do it. There was another place, Llama Pizza in Frederick, Maryland, also said they would stop. They said they wouldn't even serve an officer in uniform.
Yeah, that's even better. You know, that's a non-capitalism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to say, I did this. You made me think of this. This article. This was in October of 2019. This happened in Columbus, Ohio. 14 officers wrote anonymous letters about the misconduct of the Columbus Police Department.
14.
Yeah, and there's stuff. I mean, you'd expect what you say, but what you would expect. But there are officers and supervisors who take advantage of their power and rank, and often use that power and rank to try to eliminate, or at the very least, give minority offers a difficult time.
So
This was published with the Columbus Free Press. I'm sorry, go ahead, but we like them.
So they actually said that. Even the minorities that work for the police department said that they're mistreated by the white police.
Here's another quote from another officer. I can truthfully say that the unfairness in punishment, along with favoritism, racism, and nepotism, are an all-time high here at CPD, wrote an anonymous writer in one letter who claims that they had been working for the department for 30 years.
Jeez.
This was 2019.
At an all-time high. They would know, actually.
Yeah. What's even sadder is it's gotten so blatant around here that some of the people know they can do whatever and know for certain their punishment will be next to nothing and then smile about it. Punishment for misconduct should be the same for all. Not to mention the bullying that goes on for those who stand up for themselves or apply for certain jobs, another author wrote.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's, you can look it up. Just look for, like, anonymous letters, Columbus Police Department. It's fucked up. And I have one more thing.
Go for it.
It's a bummer, but it is a really good story. Somebody wrote this to me, streetfightradio@gmail.com. Hi guys, just wanted to send in my message since I don't really feel comfortable calling in. I'm hoping you can share this. Anyways, I just wanted to say shit was real wild on Sunday here in Seattle at the protest, and I wasn't even there for more than a couple hours. As you probably heard by now, a guy drove his Honda Civic into us. The guy, Nicholas Fernandez, according to the Twitter detectives, stopped a few feet away from where I was standing, and had I not seen him coming, got out of the way, I would have been hit. A man named Dan Gregory was able to stop the driver from going further, getting shot in the arm by the driver during this. After Dan was shot and the car stopped, the driver then left the car, waved his handgun in the air, and was able to escape into the crowd, hop the barrier, give the cops the thumbs up, and then get gently arrested. Everything happened so fast I didn't even realize that Dan had gotten shot, only that he was hurt. While it sucked to then be peace policed by the people with the microphone, I understood their call to not fuck up the guy's car so that cops wouldn't have reason to fire on us, even though they did that later anyways.
Yeah.
At least someone managed to fuck up the guy's car a little bit before the libs formed a chain around it and pushed it over to the cops for evidence or whatever. And people were smart enough to only touch the car with gloves on. Anyway, I just wanted to end this by saying that Dan Gregory is a fucking hero, and so are the street medics that helped him.
Nice. Did he live?
Yes, it was in the arm.
Great.
He's good.
That's good to hear. I mean, it's sad that he got shot, but...
Yeah, that's always, I mean...
Boy, the police gently arresting that's how they are with guys like that.
Yeah, they trust them. Even if they're fucking murderers. They trust them.
Yeah, yeah.
They think they're murdering for the right reason, like they do.
Yeah, yeah. Not like doctors, though.
Not like doctors. Doctors kill.
Yeah, doctors is just always killing. You know, it's crazy.
Thank you for listening to Street Fight. I know some of you complained about the new setup.
No, what happened?
They wanted graphics and shit around the sides.
Oh, we'll get all that, man. We just got this.
We have to adjust the camera too, I think, a little bit, but we will. We were actually set up to record some stuff for the new TV show that's going to be happening on Means TV. So that's why the camera is kind of far away. We've rearranged the studio to work as a TV station as well. So
yeah, we're trying to figure out how to make a TV show and a podcast. So it was a little bit weird, but we're going to figure this out. It's just going to take a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And you'll have a fucking TV show to watch. So stop complaining.
So you can find us this Sunday. We'll be taking your calls 9 a.m. to midnight Eastern Standard Time.
9 p.m. to
9
midnight.
9 p.m. to midnight, sorry. And also, if you're in Columbus, this Friday at the State House, 4 p.m., Adrian Hood is hosting a march for families that were killed by the police. People's Justice Project is backing it up, so please go show up. It's her son, Henry Green, was killed by Zach Rosen a few years ago. So, thank you for listening to Street Fight Radio. If you want more of what we do and you want to check out all the zines and videos and bonus audio, head over to patreon.com/streetfightradio where you can get a bunch of extra content. We are going to be doing this for the most part. Right now, I'm not interested in getting out there and performing with 100 people. The protest freaked me out enough. So yeah, we'll be streaming and hanging out. I figured out how to do it from my phone. I got a mailbag video coming and even more. So look forward to more content from Street Fight. We'll see you later.